Waste Management Authority partners United Nations, others to promote sustainable plastic waste management. Federal government disburses 22 billion naira to boost basic education nationwide. On the foreign scene, South Korea sets June 3 as date of election to replace impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. And in sport, Nigeria's Flying Eagles commenced training in Abuja ahead under 20 AFCON. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, has partnered the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, and the Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance, FBRA, to promote sustainable plastic waste management in Lagos State through circular economy practices. The initiative, tagged UNIDO Project 210184, promoting sustainable plastic value chains through circular economy practices, funded by the government of Japan, seeks to strengthen Nigeria's capacity for inclusive and sustainable industrial development by addressing plastic pollution at source. As part of the project, 4 plastic waste collection facilities and 30 designated collection points will be established across the Lekki and Lagos mainland municipalities, while LOMA will provide the land and essential infrastructure, as UNIDO and FBRA will co-finance the development and lead public awareness campaigns under the Zero Plastic Waste Initiative. According to LOMA's Managing Director and CEO, Muyiwa Gbadiyeshi, the project requires 2 land parcels, each in Lekki and Lagos mainland, which is said had been secured. He also said on the Lagos mainland, LOMA is exploring a collaborative model with a local school to integrate an educational facility alongside the recycling center to foster environmental awareness and learning within the community. The project, expected to run until September 2026, aligns with LOMA's mission to promote efficient waste management and environmental sustainability in Lagos State. The Lagos State Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board has flagged off its annual sensitization exercise in preparation for the 2025 Christian pilgrimage. As part of the awareness campaign, the board secretary, Bolabo Okudero, led a delegation of officials on courtesy visits to Mushi local government, as well as Isolo and Ejigbo local council development area. During the engagement, Okudero emphasized the importance of a holistic approach to governance, urging local government leaders not to focus solely on socio-economic development, but also to invest in the spiritual growth of their constituents. Okudero also shared the board's strategic plans for the 2025 pilgrimage and appealed for collaborative efforts in promoting pilgrimage participation among Christians in their communities. The sensitization exercise signals the beginning of the board's mobilization efforts for the 2025 pilgrimage, reinforcing its commitment to fostering spiritual enrichment across Lagos State. Abia State government has announced plans to introduce a new economic and business policy framework that will promote made in Abia products in furtherance of the state's local content law. Commissioner for Information Oke Kanu stated this in Umuahia, the state capital, while briefing journalists on this week's State Executive Council meeting presided over by Governor Alex Oti. Kanu said details of the new Made in Abia products policy would be made public in the coming weeks and months. He recalled that Governor Oti recently played host to an indigenous company involved in the promotion of handmade fabrics, particularly the Akwete fabric, where he promised to promote it and its use in the state. Kanu added that the new policy framework that centers around the purchase of Made in Abia goods has been put together to promote such goods and services. Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has confirmed the unbundling of the transmission company of Nigeria into two distinct operational entities, which are the Nigeria Independent System and the Transmission Service Provider. He stated that the unbundling, which is in accordance with the Electricity Act 2023, is not simply an administrative measure, but a testament to the ministry's dedication to promoting operational clarity. Adelabu, who stated this in Abuja at the first edition of the Corporate Governance Forum in Nigeria, said the devolution is one of the most significant structural reforms in recent times in the power sector. He stressed that operational clarity improves transparency and ultimately value creation through better corporate governance. Adelabu also called for good governance, which he said is central to national development, that will ensure that public resources are safeguarded and deployed to serve the needs of the country. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has disbursed over 2 billion naira to the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory under the School-Based Management Committee's School Improvement Program, SBMC SIP, to improve basic education infrastructure. Additionally, 20 billion naira has been allocated through the Teacher Professional Development Program, TPD, to enhance the skills of more than 200,000 teachers across the country. Minister of Education Tunji Alausa made the announcement at the official launch of the SBMC SIP, the presentation of the 2025 revised implementation guidelines, and the flag-off of the TPD program in Abuja. Alausa emphasized that these efforts reflect the government's commitment to delivering inclusive, quality education, particularly at the grassroots level. He added that by empowering SBMCs with tools, training and resources, the government is not only improving infrastructure, but also strengthening community engagement and grassroots democracy in education. Sokoto State government has cautioned residents against making inflammatory and sensational remarks capable of undermining ongoing efforts to address insecurity in the state. The warning was issued by the Special Advisor to Governor Ahmed Aliyu on Security, Ahmed Usman, in response to a statement credited to one Basharu Altine Guyawa. Guyawa, the convener of the Movement for Social Justice in Nigeria, was said to have cast doubts on the government's commitment to security, an allegation the state government described as misleading and counterproductive. Usman noted that such statements could dampen public morale and discourage recognition of the significant strides made by both the government and security operatives in the fight against banditry and kidnapping. He urged the public to resist the urge to politicize security issues, stressing that constructive engagement and community cooperation remain key factors to restoring lasting peace. Now to foreign news. South Korea will hold a snap election on June 3 to replace Yoon Suk-yeol following the former president's removal from office over his short-lived declaration of martial law. The country's acting president, Han Duck-soo, said the government had decided on the date considering the need to ensure smooth election operations and allow sufficient time for political parties to prepare. Han said the government had discussed the issue with the National Election Commission and other related agencies. South Korea's Constitutional Court on Friday unanimously upheld a decision by the legislature to impeach Yoon, who was elected to a 5-year term in 2022, finding that the conservative leader had overstepped his presidential authority when he briefly declared martial law late last year. Under South Korea law, a presidential election must be held within 60 days of a leader's removal from office. Yoon plunged South Korea's young democracy into turmoil when he declared martial law on December 3, claiming that the move was necessary to overcome the political opposition's obstructionism, and anti-state forces. Now, sport. Nigeria's Flying Eagles have commenced the final lap of the preparation for the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations in Abuja. Aliyu Zubairu's side spent around 1 month in Katsina for the first phase of the preparation. 35 players, including 7 foreign-based professionals, have been selected for the camping exercise. The squad is dominated by players who won the WAFU B Under-20 Championship in Togo last year. The Flying Eagles will be looking at the competition for the 8th time in Egypt. They are drawn in Group B with Egypt, Morocco, and South Africa. The competition will run from Saturday, April 26 to Sunday, May 18. And that ends our news at 10. Just before we go, stay alive. Make use of pedestrian bridges where available. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that under the Sanwo-Olu administration, 1,050 rural women received intensive training in boosting outputs in agricultural production, and the beneficiaries were given equal access to markets? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, has partnered with the United States Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, and the Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance to promote sustainable plastic waste management in Lagos State through circular economy practice. The federal government has disbursed over 2 billion naira to the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory under the School-Based Management Committee School Improvement Program to improve basic education infrastructure. Also told you that South Korea will hold a snap election on June 3 to replace Yoon Suk-yeol following the former president's removal from office over his short-lived declaration of martial law. And in sport, Nigeria's Flying Eagles have commenced the final lap of the preparation for the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations in Abuja. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fabolagun. I am Dele Agadumo. Good